I'm Genevieve Bargello.
And I'm Eileen West.
And this is CFB News. Local authors Scott and Ruth, who created the picture book The Hairy Narfrog and the Fuzznutter, How Differences Can Be Shared, recently held a book signing event at the local bookstore. Eileen Wurst was there on the scene.
Thank you, Genevieve Bargello. As you can see behind me, there is this beautiful watercolor painting of this book and multiple plushies of the Hairy Narfrog and the Fuzznutter. As you can see, I picked myself up 2 Fuzznutters. Apparently holding these 2 things together looks like something else. So the FCC, we're going to put that away. But there has been a turn of events. During the signing, one woman in the back let out a little shriek, and everyone turned around. And as you can see, Eric was actually able to get the tiny glimpse of what looks like sea Maester. This is perhaps one of the first times we've had documentation of the ominous Shetland pony, who within Clatfartburg history has been known to show up right before something bad happens. We do not know if he brings on the bad things or if he is actually a good ghost horse letting you know something bad will happen. What I will say is that 10 minutes later, old man Jerry, as we all know, who likes to eat down at the pizza pen, came in and, let's just say, tooted his own horn and cleared the room. People were having to give masks, and the store was closed for a next solid 15 minutes. But aside from that, we are enjoying all our little cryptid funds, and I got my book signed for my little sister. We look forward to the future events and potentially more plushies. This has been CFB News. Wow. Look at this wonderful place. Every day we wake up and we go out on the streets, and you know what we see? We see a bunch of fucking humans, and then we see some domestic animals on leashes. But you know what's nice once in a while? It's to go into a different world. Mm-hmm. To go into a place that, if you think about it, is a themed place. There are fun little settings. There are themed restaurants, and even better within it, creatures from around the world living their lives, and you get to see them. And then sometimes there's feedings, and you get to watch them be fed. And it's a zoo. It's a zoo.
It's a zoo.
I made it sound like the most boring thing on earth, but it's a zoo. And I admittedly, I think as it's been leaked on this podcast, I enjoy playing Planet Zoo, which is Zoo Tycoon, but they decided we should drop the Tycoon maybe in the year of our Lord 2025. Let's just be Planet Zoo. Yeah. It is my comfort game. I like creating a zoo. And I also love going to zoos in real life. I like ethical zoos. I like the ones where we're doing good research and we're rehabilitating animals.
Yes.
All that stuff. So we're going to create...
This is like many things in Clatfartburg. Whatever you want this zoo to be ethics-wise, it is that for you.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
It's perfectly malleable to whatever
ethical,
your heart's desire is.
It is great. There's no problems here.
Exactly. And so, yeah, we're going to create the zoo. And this is something we've been wanting to do for a while anyway, but also a listener had also suggested it. So Zach had said Clatfartburg is already established as a very environmentally conscious city, but what about the inhabitants of environments? Would they prioritize local wildlife over the exotic? Also, the citizens seemingly have a preference towards the more aquatic of creatures, so would they even have a zoo if an aquarium is more fitting? And I think there's a lot we can play with here.
Yeah. And that was sent in January, but it just kept not being the right time. And now for Elaine's birth month, we're diving in.
Yeah, it's my birthday episode. It's a tradition on the podcast we have that when the birthday comes around, you can do whatever you want. So luckily mine happened to be kind of normal in the main. But just so you know, guys, shit can get weird and we let it fly because that's the birthday episode.
Yeah,
so we'll see what Felicia does.
I need to start thinking about mine because I haven't thought of one yet.
But anyway, this is now entering Clatfartburg. I'm Elaine.
And I'm Felicia.
And we expand on the fictional town of Clatfartburg every week, diving into all the nooks and crannies, the alleys, the back alleys, the alleys behind those alleys. Downtown is the only place that has alleys, actually, and I don't know how many they have. But that's an episode for another time. I'm
episode 400. What are Clatfartburg's alleys and how many
We'll
are
never
there?
run out of ideas. It's always going to be a really good podcast. Don't you worry, kids.
Elaine's doing an insane face while she
That
said
was
that.
kind
I
of
just want everyone to know.
really horrifying. It was like an inner chipmunk took over my features. I'm so lucky I get to make it to another year on this planet. Anyway, so I was thinking, sometimes it's fun when we do these episodes and there's like a situation that's happened.
Yes.
So I have a couple of ideas and I'd love to know what you're feeling and what speaks to you. There is always the classic, an animal has escaped the zoo.
Yes.
Or it's causing a little bit of a menace situation. No one will get hurt, maybe. We can go dark. We're comedy. The comedy can be dark.
I'd rather we didn't.
Maybe Mr. Eggers gets his head bitten off by a tiger. Maybe we fucking go there. Maybe my birthday episode is the one that goes fucking there.
Elaine's birthday, she murders Mr. Edgar's via tiger.
It is about time we had a murder in Clatfartburg.
Next year's birthday episode is going to be Clatfartburg's first murder. There's never been a murder before.
Oh. That kind of sounds really good. I'm going to put it down as a note for myself and we'll see. Giving me too many ideas. But okay, no one will die this year. They're fine. No one will even get injured. Maybe a little PTSD though. We'll figure it out.
I'll give you that.
Thank you. I just want the world to be as broken as I was.
Good Lord, happy birthday.
I actually am doing fine, guys. I just want to clarify. I realized that
Before this
seemed...
call, Elaine was like, I'm doing Pilates and I'm eating mango and I'm doing yoga. And now she's like, I want the world to be as broken as I am.
Something weird happened. We're both entering into this with this is one of those episodes where we're entering it with weird energy. So
my apartment's dishwasher won't drain, so it smells like hot vinegar and cat food.
Talking to men gives me anxiety. So here we are. An animal has escaped. It's causing chaos. But before we get to that, let's lay out the groundwork. Let's do the blue paw print, if you will, of this little zoo.
Okay, I'm curious. I'm fine with animal that has escaped, but you did say you had multiple suggestions.
Oh, I did.
You just went on with animal that escaped.
I really did, didn't I? Okay. Wow, sorry.
I'm not saying no to animal escape, but I am curious about those loose threads.
I was thinking, what if there are two different animals that are about to have babies and it's somehow become like the baby battle? Because that gets really hyped. It's like, oh my God.
I love that. Feels similar to last week, so I think we'll move.
Having babies?
Well, no, but
them
two
pulling
competing
it out. I
animals.
was like, I don't know babies. Yeah. There could just be a baby situation going on. They're trying to market it. Maybe the marketing's not going great. There's not harming animals, but there's a sinister zookeeper who's maybe doing something. And it's not harming the animals, but maybe he's like trying to like create his own zoo or like I don't want any of the animals to get hurt. Again, just to clarify.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of an evil zookeeper, and maybe that's just a B plot.
I'm good with the evil zookeeper B plot. That's exciting to me.
I like that. Okay, cool. And what else? I was like an opening day, but I feel like this zoo has been around for a while. In my opinion, this has been around, and I think it's a medium-sized zoo. I think it's like you could lap it. There's a lot you can get. I'm saying that now. I might start saying a bunch of animals. We might both be throwing them out there, and it might actually be a really big fucking zoo. And that's okay.
Medium zoo feels right to me as well. I would say medium zoo, malevolent zookeeper.
Yes.
I'm interested in his beef not having to do with the animals somehow, but having to do with like concession stands. And I don't know what the plot will be. But I think it is something completely corollary. Is that the word I'm trying to use?
It sounded
parallel. It did
Okay.
sound good, didn't it?
It sounded really nice.
Parallel to his duties. He comes
Yes.
across it, but it's not typically. It would not cross if not for his malevolent schemes.
Yeah. But he falls in love with the funnel cake girl.
Okay, sure.
I like this, though. I like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe he's worked at the zoo for quite a while. Do you imagine he's young or older?
Middle-aged.
Okay, he's middle-aged. And what exhibits does he normally cover? I'm getting a penguin vibe from this guy.
Yes. Would penguins work in the I don't need to think about that. I don't need to think of if penguins would work in this climate.
Yeah,
because
they have
Clatfartburg is
indoor
everywhere is
penguin
nowhere.
Exhibits.
Clatfartburg is everywhere and nowhere, and it's perfectly fine. And I
Exactly,
need to not
'cause
be
I
worried
actually-
about these fake and imaginary animals' welfare.
It's just like Planet Zoo.
I am the kid who in Minecraft refused to kill horses or any animal because it was too much. And I remember one time a friend and I had a competition to see who could get the fastest horse in Minecraft. And our tactics were they spawned a bunch of horses, bred them all together to get the fastest one. And I would spawn an individual horse, make them a home, give them a name. Then spawn another horse, make them a home, give them a name. And then I would track the family lineage so that I would not let horse incest happen in my game. This is who I am.
You would love Planet Zoo.
I would.
You can
I would
track the
love Planet Zoo.
genealogy. I'm trying to breed some Siberian tigers that are white right now. Anyway. The birthday episodes are always a curse because you always just end up revealing more than you should.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so
Okay,
penguins.
So
and
the penguins and they're fine.
The penguins and they're fine. I did want to make a side note that I did want there to be polar bears, and I want one of them to be named Merryweather.
Okay, great. Love it.
So I just need that clarified. But
Yeah.
he's working on these penguins, and maybe he's like, he talks to the penguins, as you would. I would talk to all the animals.
Yeah.
If I was going in there. Please, they outnumber me. Why not? And what would, if you've been working at this place for a while, why would the concessions piss you off? Have they been pissing them off for a while, or has there been a recent change that has caused anger to build?
Maybe there's something like they're theming the concessions around the areas in some capacity, and something about the theming is angering him.
Maybe they've claimed that something it's North American, but technically it's South American. It's a regional difference or something, where they're like, well, the wolf can be found here, here, and here. And he's like, yes, but this is the place it should be known best for. When I think of
Right.
wolves, I think of Europe, not North America. Why are you giving burgers for wolves? Should be brats,
I was thinking, or something stupid about way the concessions are named. Okay, this is my thought. So maybe this guy has a prize penguin that he is really attached to, and that penguin has been the big marketing, right, for a long time. But recently, two of the penguins got together. They have a baby. All right, it's being raised by a lesbian penguin couple. So this new baby penguin is all the rage because that's what everybody wants to talk about is this lesbian penguin couple and this baby, right? So they've renamed this bucket of fries that used to be named against this one penguin that was his prize penguin to this new lesbian baby penguin. And he's really mad about it because he's like, well, people won't know what to order.
Yeah. And he's not ready for his star to be, overshone by a new star. Let's talk about the meerkats.
Okay, yes.
I think let's establish some of the areas in the zoo, and then I think we'll get some better understanding of what all.
And I want to talk about what bold attraction has this zoo decided to do, because I think zoos in the last 10 years have just decided animals aren't enough. We need to get bigger, and they do something crazy that's not related to the concept at all. So I think we need to touch on what this zoo's version of that might be. What's their treehouse course? What's their,
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Okay. I kind of want the meerkats to escape. Maybe there's more than one escape. But I love the idea of them all crawling on top of each other, because I feel like meerkats, my experience, they tend to be right by a food court, and they're just outside with the glasses up to your waist, and they just can't get out. But if they worked together, if they weren't so focused on digging underground and thought about reaching up a little bit, they could get out.
Reaching new heights together. Collaboration.
Meerkats.
Meerkat and Meerkat, : the sharing of collaboration. It's their new book.
There's a whole line actually of like zoo-themed business books that is being pushed in the gift shop.
Oh, wow.
Giraffes, sticking your neck out there for business wins.
They have like a little kiosk where you can learn your zoo business. I hate this. Actually, this is so corporate and I can't with it. It's so not Clatfartburg. It made me, the fantasy broke and it made me sad. And when I start to pitch something that makes me sad and not sad in a fun way, I have to cut it. So there's not a kiosk where you learn your business type and animal, like your business love language.
Bless.
That's not a thing because it would make me sad.
We're going to leave that for BuzzFeed.
Leave it to LinkedIn.
Deal with. Yeah. I think there is a lot of lovely walk-in exhibits for animals that it's safe for. And I think there's a lot of like educational things around that are really fun. So
hey, can the bug house be themed like it's Toontown?
Sure. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I don't know why it would be themed like that, but it did make me a little excited to think of a bug house themed like Toontown.
I think that's fucking perfect. I think that every Friday they put hats on the snakes. I think that they God, no, I don't want there to be a clown. I want this to be a safe space. I think there's someone who's like always on their unicycle around here. I think there's a tour guide, I don't know who you would call it. Someone who does like a zoo tour.
Yeah.
But they only do it on their unicycle, which is hard because there's a lot of hills because it's a zoo. And I feel like zoos are pretty hilly. They can do that, up and down.
They can do that.
And it's a bit much. And they are constantly almost running over other people at the zoo. And there have been a couple of lawsuits. Everyone's fine. But it's been a situation, It's been a bit different. But I think the great thing leading up to this is that working the concessions, I think there might be two people that needed an internship for their resume, even though they're not going to go to college anytime soon. They're on their gap year, but they needed, they were so bored of this boot warehouse they were working at. They're these cousins and they worked at this boot warehouse. They try to get out of the shadow of their parents. And you know what? They're like, maybe we'll go be environmentalists. And they didn't really want to go all the way. Well, this makes sense
because they got this job on the bona fides of their otter advocacy podcast.
Yes.
Otter, she better don't. All right.
This
and
is
that
Harper
is the thing. Otters are conspicuously absent from the zoo because of the situation at the museum.
So this was actually something I wanted to discuss. I forgot about this. So really quick, this is Harper and Becky. If you don't know, the episode that's about the public library, they are the two kids from some of the
okay, but they're not even mentioned. They're not even mentioned in that episode. They're mentioned in a bonus episode about that.
Yeah, but that's the starting point. That's their origin story. So anyway, that's just where they are. So they're the second generation. And they're on this eternal gap year. And they have horrible taste in dating. So I think maybe they think that they need to try to free one of these animals that they don't think is getting the luxury treatment.
Yes, absolutely. I love this. This is on brand.
So I think that if there are otters here, they're normal, and people call them the brunette otters, and people never really visit the exhibit. It's the least visited because people are so loyal
actually,
to
I love this. Yes,
these blanche otters. Which
I will say these brunette otters are probably living it up. They probably have a great area, but it's just people don't give a shit.
Yeah, they're just why would I go? There's blonde otters. I have to go see all the other things. Clothing.
And sit for portraits.
It's Friday. I gotta go see the snakes wearing hats. I don't have time for that.
Right.
So what animal would they try to get rid, free more of these otters in general? Or do they also go, ew, brown otter, gross?
Yeah, well, they do have an eye for luxury.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or are they trying to sabotage by putting a brown otter in with the blonde otters?
Ooh.
So they're trying to kidnap an otter and bring it to the Blonde Otter Museum. I don't know if that makes sense. And I don't know if it makes sense with their mission, really, because they do advocate for the otters. They do like the otters. So I don't think that actually makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd want to. And even though they are the same species, they are elitist. So what's a prissy uppity. I'm thinking like peacocks. I'm thinking those really weird fluffy chickens. I'm thinking.
I feel like those things are like free roaming around zoos. They're not.
They
even
are,
in
yeah.
cages. Like they're not even.
Where they're not
peacocks are
contained. How do you know?
What is the right animal?
Koala.
My brain is also. I enjoy a lemur. You know, and they do cause a lot of havoc. You know,
they do. Perhaps a ring-tailed lemur.
Yeah.
I love this. Okay. So they're, they sell their concessions, blah, blah, blah. And then they walk around the zoo and they bitch because it's how they get through
and
life.
they really like the ring-tailed lemur because it looks like he has incredible eyeliner.
Yeah. They're like, that's so stunning and gorgeous. They've actually they tried to do an interview with it. They did their podcast live because they have a podcast, and they did it live with the lemur, and they actually like swear lemur did a little catwalk. Lemur like worked it down the branch, if you will, just like did a little duck walk almost. Really, it was just it was like playing with a berry or whatever lemurs eat. It's playing with a berry, but they were like, oh my god, it's duck walking. This is
I
iconic.
can't believe it.
Iconic. We love to see it. And then, I think they maybe they're just like, okay, so like I've been thinking about this a lot, Harper.
Yeah.
And like, we love animals.
We love animals.
We love animals. And we love this ring-tailed lemur. And like the Clatfartburg Zoo, it's like really ethical. They do good stuff. They rehabilitate the animals.
For sure.
They let them back out. But like that lemur is bigger than an animal. Like, I mean, it's its size, but it's like more than a species.
There's definitely star power going on with that lemur. There's something magnetic about her that I'm really interested in. And I think she's being wasted at this zoo. I think she could go platinum. I think she could go double platinum.
Yeah.
I think she could take on Fashion Week really well and effectively.
Oh my God. Truly. Like the black and white contrast throughout her tail as well is just... You don't see it really anywhere else. And like, honestly, like, I feel like I relate a lot to her because all these institutions are like holding her back. And sure, she has a nice home. She's fed. But like, what's beyond these walls? What's out there for that lemur?
The lemur's getting Mother Gothel, just like you.
Oh my God, yes. And we can't like stand by, like we're activists.
We're activists, and we need to free Rapunzel. And the Rapunzel in this case, Rapunzel, lemur, let down your tail.
Oh
We're
my God.
breaking you out.
Oh my God. Bradley, insert some really cool techno music.
Hashtag it. Hashtag it. Guys.
Hashtag it.
Lemur,
Let's
let
go.
down your tail. Okay, so that's Becky and Harper.
Yeah.
And if people have not heard them talk before, that might have been
enjoy.
Have fun. There's 2 hours of them yelling on our bonus content. So.
Yeah.
So how do we what is their game plan in freeing this lemur? Or do we want to discuss more lands first before we return to this?
Well, we have a connection so far. They're concessions. They want to free this lemur.
Yes.
Zookeeper working over the penguins
is mad about
the concessions. Technically, maybe not mad at them. I think he might recognize like these two working it don't have that power.
He's a reasonable man.
He's reasonable. Yeah, we'll give him that. He's a little reasonable. But I'm wondering if some manipulation, if both parties think they might be manipulating the other to get what they want. So maybe we try to get backstage access.
I think we should try to establish some other areas first.
Yes.
Before we really dive into this drama going down of Becky and Harper trying to... I think what could happen is, he tries to bribe them to be like, if you swap the name, I'll do this. And I don't think Becky and Harper really care because I think their job's over in like 2 weeks anyway, and they know it's just going to change back when they're done.
Yeah. Or they just, I feel like, are also, they know they're going to get fired at any point in any endeavor they do. They've really accepted that radically.
They know. Radical acceptance of the ability to be fired at any time, which just means they're bad at their jobs and don't do any effort to fix it.
Yeah.
So, I think we should talk about the little areas. I do want to think, like, what is our... I think whatever the like extra attraction that's not animals in could have a part in the heist of this lemur, of trying to free this lemur. But I don't really know what it is. Could it be we could do some sort of transportation? You know, I've been to a few zoos with swan boats. We could do, you know,
I feel like a train's a classic.
A train is a classic. A train is a classic. A lot of them have like these like tree house, like climb over. I don't know if that's just a few I've been to where you climb over the zoo.
Yeah.
So that could be one as well. I remember there was one at a zoo I went to where you were in a car inside and you had to take photos of CGI animals around you. What? And I was obsessed with it conceptually. I think I wrote it once. And I think I was nervous the whole time. So.
Oh, no. Okay, I like this idea. I like that. I think it should be a transportation that kind of goes around the whole zoo, but maybe you cover the areas you wouldn't think you would, or you're like at some point you're sideways, you know, and then you're back up, and then it's just a really like confusing experience. Maybe it's like a safari car vibe, but it's like on tracks, so you get like a weird Disney vibe, you know, like you're not going crazy fast, but you are like, and now we're going through the temperate forest tunnel, and it just gets really fucking humid, and it's like rough.
It's like that part in Hershey Park on the ride where they roast you like a cocoa bean.
Exactly. So maybe it's a very sensory ride.
You get drenched in water in the rainforest.
Regardless of weather, they keep it all.
Yeah.
When you go by the elephants, you get sprayed with water because it's like a trunk, but the elephant's like always like 100, like far away behind a tree when you go on this ride. If you're looking at it fine, you can see it. But
could have. Yeah,
I think it'd be funny.
It is rare that you actually see an animal on this ride because you have to be so far away for it to meet like ethical zoo standards that they like you can pay $5 extra to rent binoculars, which feels cynical, but it is a corporation. Okay,
it is.
It goes to charity.
Yeah. And they go through, and the elephants are super happy. They have a basketball court. Because they've learned how to do basketball. You've got a trunk, dribble, you can throw that thing. And they're doing pretty well. The one thing they had to move the court because it was against this one wall, but it was really close to the visitors. And so when the elephants would throw the ball against the wall, it would sometimes bounce back towards visitors and pelt them in the face. So they had to adjust that. But aside from that, they've been doing fabulous with that. The zookeepers actually have a rec basketball team, and they're called the Elephants because of this.
That's very cute.
So I think that's like the special attraction there. They have a ton of those like toy things that it look like punching bags, and they just do that. And then I think that with these elephants, when they get really happy, they do that thing where they just like fling the little trunk in the air, and they just don't care, and it's just wibbly wobbly everywhere. And for them, that's natural and healthy. There's nothing wrong with it. They like that. I don't know if that in real life suggests they're having a seizure or something, but in this world,
these ones,
it's good.
These elephants are cool.
They're the happiest elephants on Earth. Actually, it's what it says on the plaque, so it's real. So it's good.
It feels sinister, even though I know it's fine.
It's good.
Okay, so I'm thinking Becky has spent a week sewing a lemur raincoat to get it through the rainforest section and the elephant section of this, because their game plan is there's like a stop on this safari car train situation. I don't know if there's stops. I feel like
there could be like take a photo stop kind of thing.
Okay. I'm just trying to think, do they use that to make their escape somehow, to quickly get out of the area?
Because maybe the car goes through the lemur exhibit.
Yeah.
Would they have to do this at night? Or maybe there's like a Halloween festival or something, like, you know, like one of those things where people might be like elsewhere in the park, and then they go to the other side of the park.
I like this.
So maybe they're doing like, it's the tap dancing competition would obviously happen at the zoo.
Yeah.
Duh.
For sure.
You know.
Why wouldn't it? Give me one good reason why the tap dancing competition
fucking tell us.
couldn't happen at the zoo.
Can you name how many wild animals have metal on their feet? A lot. And when they walk,
that's
it goes
natural.
Yeah, exactly. Like the metal bear. Come on, we all know about it.
I mean, horses, kind of. But
yes,
that's, you know. Organic. Classically, the metal bear, one of the best attractions in Clatfartburg is the metal bear.
Can they have a whole exhibit of like wild horses? Just a giant pasture of just horses just galloping around, being fun.
Yeah.
You can go give them sugar cubes or whatever, but they like, it's like very like they have a horse named Spirit. Of course they do. And they're just like plopping around. I'm wondering if this might help with our getaway plans as well. It's nighttime. The clattering of tiny feet hitting upon the stage is filling the air as all of the people at the zoo are experiencing and watching this. It's right in front of the giraffe exhibit, so people are also looking at the giraffes. They're tall. It's easy to see them. But two figures in the night slip away to go... Do they go to the exhibit first, or do they hop on the train first? I guess they go on the train to get into the exhibit. That might be the easiest way.
Yes, and I think before this has happened, they've set up their shop and they have changed the name of the penguin dish.
Yes. So maybe...
and then they've written underneath it, this is not for homophobic reasons, it's for other petty reasons.
For petty non-homophobic reasons.
For petty non-homophobic reasons.
But
if I was a penguin, I would never be with another girl penguin because but I'm not homophobic. But I do respect the penguins' right to exist and do what they're happy about, but we are changing the name for reasons unrelated to that. Thank you, heart.
The whole menu is just crossed out for this message. Yeah. No one else can get the bird dogs or the fish tacos. It's just this.
Yeah.
I like that. So maybe our zookeeper also knows how to run the track. Maybe he's been here long enough, or that was just a side passion of his. But he runs the track. He got promoted from running the track. Yes.
And they're like, we just want to take a nighttime ride.
Yeah. They're like, oh my gosh, like, okay, we just really want to like room for the night. And he's like, okay. And he sits down and he goes, oh God. And he has to take the fish out of his pockets because they're just always there. Mm-hmm. And we go through and it's spooky. It's dark.
Yeah.
The lights are all on at the tap dancing because the rest of the zoo I think is technically closed off right now. This is just for the event, and you can go
just for the tap dancing tournament
because the giraffes are the only ones that can handle the tap dancing. All the other animals are a little like they're more jazz, they're more contemporary, like it's just a lot. So
and so, now dancing the salsa, the ring-tailed lemur.
Maybe can that also be like the tour voice you hear on this bus? So I think the tour voice has to be playing as they're going through. You can't shut off all of the train.
And now on your left, a ringtail lemur. Feel the beat in the rhythm of the night. To the morning night.
And this is the lemurs start kind of doing a little shuffle. They can't resist.
And they're like, this is what we're saying. The star power on these ringtail lemurs.
Okay, I unfortunately realized we have made this a dancing zoo because if the elephants are wiggling their little trunks in the air.
They do this of their own volition. This is not some fucked up Ringling Brothers training. This is what they are like when given the
penguins,
happy home they deserve.
The penguins are on the other side of this.
And it's not happy feet. It's not happy feet.
It's not happy feet. But I will say that they're on the other side of this tap dancing competition. They're like far enough away, but they can like still hear it. And they're waddling around. And I'm pretty sure the zookeeper's like, I knew you had it in you. I knew you were little tap dancers.
Yeah.
That movie was a documentary and no one could tell me it wasn't.
They're doing river dance.
He actually just sits there and tries to play different music to see what'll happen because the penguins are the only animals that don't really have a dance move, really. Like everyone else is like, oh yeah, like
everyone's got their signature.
The koala likes to do a nice slow shuffle even, and he's like, that's fucking stupid, Janice. It's not real. Your koala can't dance. And everyone's like, Pete, can you calm the fuck down? Like he just gets brushed. Yeah, they're like, we're having fun. And your penguins are cute. We love them. They just aren't dancing. They're walkers. And he's like, he works so hard to get to this top, right? He's like the fucking dancer. So anyway, he's
Maybe
like,
if he learns this whole trip is about getting the star power of this single lemur, will it cause him to rat them out?
I feel like he would, because I think he does respect
The sanctity of zoo.
now. If Harper threw her phone off, once they do the little photo stop
Right.
in the lemur exhibit. Okay, she throws something, a handkerchief, what have you. Her Mario lipstick. And then he, as the zookeeper, is the one who has to get off the train and is in the opposite direction of the lemur.
Mm-hmm.
And then Harper and Becky go out. And you said there's a coat. What was the...
Okay,
so what's
the
the
coat
operation
was
of this?
so I just thought there was a coat because there was water on the ride, and they didn't want the lemur to get wet.
I was like, are they going to put the lemur in a coat? And
Well,
then
I think they might. I think it could make sense. What would they hide him in? A bag? Like a handbag?
Well, maybe like one of those cat backpacks where you have like the little the dome in the back of it or something.
The lemur is in a raincoat in Becky's purse.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And now somehow they are not attacked.
Yeah, no, this lemur's chill as hell.
You know what they do? It's because they do a little shimmy as they get up to that lemur. And they go,
Feel the beat and the rhythm of the night.
come here, girl. We're going to take you places.
Yeah.
And they put like cranberries in the bottom of the bag, and lemur goes like, ooh, yeah. Hops in, and then they scurry back. And Pete takes a real long time to stand back up. He's like, oh, God. Oh, I don't usually have to bend this far. Okay. Ugh. Because he's more of a squat guy, but he thought, I'm going to bend at the waist. It doesn't matter. It takes him enough time that when he comes back, everyone's settled. And who has the lemur? Whose lap should it be in? I feel like this might be
Becky's. Yeah, it's Becky's.
Okay, so Becky's like hugging the bag. It's fine. And a little wrestling's happening. And so we're dancing though. Everyone's having to dance. And
Yeah.
It's like, oh boy. And as like, they're like really bored of Zookeeper Pete at this point because he talks at 0.25 speed.
Yeah.
And they realize they have to like kind of stay on this train for a hot second until I think they reach an exhibit where they feel like the horse exhibit, I think could be a good one to hop off. You're not going to die.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Yeah. I think
You
that
know.
could make sense.
Because maybe at that point they're like, we don't care what happened. He's just going to think we're running away. Like, he's not going to know we have an animal on us. So maybe, maybe they've brought in a bunch of carrots and they throw them in the air and all the horses clap forward. They're so excited because carrots. Oh my gosh. And sugar cubes and apples.
Well,
They
they
just go
start
fucking
doing
nuts.
a lovely trot that looks a little like a Charleston.
Oh, oh my. And as they little ready to trot on over, Pete's afraid of horses. Is Pete afraid of horses? Maybe that's
Sure.
his one animal.
Go for
He's
it.
just like, no. So if he's panicked, he's in a blind panic,
Yeah.
they're gone. I think he's going to think that they were like attacked by the horses and the
Yeah.
horses have hidden the body.
As they can. With their metal shovel implements of feet.
Yeah, and their teeth, huge.
Scary.
A carrot is like a finger, so you can't,
Yeah.
like a little shredder,
I actually hated that. That really grossed me out.
So they run across the horse pasture and they hop the little fence. It's like a little wooden fence. It's not big at all. And now I feel like they have to go through something else. Like, I feel like...
Well, I mean, there's the
Maybe.
tap dancing competition.
That's true. Maybe like a worker sees them. It's like, oh, hey, you have to step over here. So like they can't keep going forward. They like have to now go to the tap dancing competition to be like, oh, sorry, we were like looking for a bathroom and got lost.
Right.
And I think the whole time a little lemur arm just keeps popping up to like try to grab something.
Yeah.
Like he's having to like shove it back in there. It's like, it's fine. You're fine. Here's some lip gloss to play with, And they're at the tap dancing competition, and no one can hear the distant screams of Pete because the tapping is so loud.
Maybe there's something that the lemur grabs that shows it's a certain lemur. Or maybe he's the only lemur that can tap dance.
Ooh. So maybe...
so stupid. But yeah.
Wait. You want to hear something stupid?
Say it.
It's the 7th grade tap dance group. Mm-hmm. And you know what they've decided to dress up this year as? Lemurs. So they're tap dancing lemurs. Okay. And Becky and Harper have been looking at the vendors because they might as well.
Right. Because they've got nothing but time.
They've got nothing but time. And they're like, we love a little doodad. And so I think the lemur keeps trying to like play with his stuff. But the lemur pokes his head out. And then he sees, look at all those lemurs. Like, again, the lemurs finally made it. The lemurs outside of the habitat. Mm-hmm. He was like, look at all these big lemurs. And they're doing the dancing that I kind of enjoy, you know? Like, oh, this is fun. And then I think maybe like Becky and Harper have made it kind of towards the front. And I'm wondering if our little lemur hops up there, starts doing a little dance. But I think people might think it's a prop. It's a little puppet. Because why would there be an actual lemur up there?
Yeah. Why would there be a lemur doing the salsa?
And this dancing class has a very strict teacher who is very much the show must go on. Do not stop no matter what.
Yeah.
Like spooky. So as a lemur is hopping between.
This is like the end of a DreamWorks film.
It really is. Shakira's going to come out as a gazelle and start singing. The lemur's just hopping around. Everyone's still dancing. They're not reacting because they're like, well, I don't know what this is, because they know it's a real lemur. Everyone else is like, oh my God, that's so great. Becky and Harper are like about to shit themselves, but also I think they're happy. I think they're taking videos.
Yeah.
I think they're like, oh my gosh, I like don't want us to get caught.
But this lemur's having their moment in the sun.
Yeah, like this was the whole point.
Yeah.
This was the whole point. And so the dance finishes and the lemur scatters off to the side. I think Becky and Harper kind of do a casual like white lady jog. They don't run. Lemur,
yeah.
Please. But I don't know, maybe they have more of the like food that zookeeper Pete provided them and they like shake it in their bag and they're able to get the lemur back. Yeah. And then maybe this is as they're like trying to walk away. Maybe this is when they might get caught. This is their first step of getting caught. I think like someone's like, security's like, excuse me, ma'am, can I see what's in your bag? Because it's just a lot of super large tampons. Massive.
They're jumbling around in there.
It's just a lot. Oh, sorry. They pop up sometimes. Like humidity when it gets really hot. You know how like your hair curls and they like they can shoot out of the wrapper sometimes. It's what makes it really hard to be like on your period when it's humid outside. Oh, there it goes again. It's just a little lemur hand. It's like,
yeah.
So it's just like it's that's all. And security's like, I think I do still need to see in there. So if you could please hand it over. And I think there's like this like stalemate of like, he's gonna do it. Because like I think also the security guard was like, I'm doing security at the tap dancing concert.
Yeah.
In the Clatfartburg Zoo. Come on.
Right.
I'm missing Alien Club dinner. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So maybe he looks in there and maybe this time. I think they get caught the second time. But I think this time a miracle happens where
the lemur has
Harper
plastered itself to the wall of the purse.
That's what I was thinking, because it's a black and white purse. Yeah. So maybe
the lemur just like arms spread out like you know that scene in Emperor's New Groove where Kronk goes flat out against the wall? I'm picturing a ringtail lemur doing that.
Oh, that's perfect. I love it. Yeah, so I think that happens and he's like, okay, you're good to go. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think he doesn't know what a large super tampon is, and he might have thought the tail of the ringtail lemur was that.
Yeah.
And he's horrified. He's thinking about that for 2 seconds, and he's like, gotta delete that from my brain. So they're fast walking now to the exit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. But
Does Pete resurface?
I'm thinking Pete resurfaces, hands in the air, running,
Yeah.
white as a sheet, scared. And he is like, thank God. I thought the horses got you. And he like wraps them in a hug, and they're like, we did not consent to touch.
Yeah.
But he's like so relieved. Because like, obviously what he was doing, he probably wasn't supposed to be doing anyway. So he was obviously like towing the line. But then to like have 2 people die on the horse exhibit, not good. They're doing the Charleston Fest next week, you know? You can't have blood on their hoofs before they dance. That's not good. So he's so relieved. And I think in the jostling of that, the lemur pops up and climbs onto the shoulders of Pete.
Yeah.
Maybe, or something like that.
So I've been thinking of pitches for the name for this lemur. Of like, what's the name that would turn them off so aggressively? One name was Steely Danielle. Like Steely Dan, because I feel like but I don't think they know what Steely Dan is. My other pitch was John Denver.
I enjoy John Denver.
Because it's just like, somebody would name a lemur after John Denver.
They would.
And even if Becky and Harper have no idea who John Denver is, they're not going to fuck with that name
Like,
for
that's
their
the name of the
superstar
city.
lemur.
That's so dumb. Because they specifically, there had been another lemur, like, oh, that's kind of cool, and that lemur was named Bradley, and they were like, well, fuck no.
Yeah.
On that, obviously, this one's better. But then they're like, it's a boy with a J name?
His name is John?
Excuse
We've been
me?
celebrating a lemur named John?
I'm absolutely disgusted right now.
So yeah, Pete is like, what are you guys doing with John Denver? And they both just go like flat-faced, and they're like, they look at each other, and they're like, well, he missed her crawling there by accident. I have no idea.
Yeah, but it's so
When
I
I
have
dropped,
these
when my
jumbo
phone dropped, he must
tampons.
have crawled in, and
Yeah.
he must have thought the jumbo tampon was like another lemur.
Yeah. Because they kind of look like that. So I think that that's probably what happened. And we're just innocent. We're on a gap year. I don't know if
We
you've
had
heard.
no idea he was in there.
We had no idea.
And it would actually be great if you could return John Denver to.
I'm curating really hard, so I need to get
home.
driven home by my my cousin here. So we thank you so much, honestly. And you're like the best zookeeper. Like clearly,
Totally
like
the best.
this
Totally
lemur
amazing.
loves you so much, and like you're yeah. Go Penguins. And then I think they skedaddle, and I think Pete is just like in shock. Now, does Pete then just secretly bring this lemur back to the exhibit and pretends this never happened?
I think so, because if he reveals that they took the lemur, because he knows they probably took the lemur and were trying to escape with it for some reason.
Yeah.
Here's how he architects this, okay? Because how does he not lose his job? He puts the lemur back, doesn't say anything, but he sees their horrible replacement for the sign, and he says, "I'll leave that up because that means they'll get fired." Because the sign replacement is so bad without the lemur situation ever being mentioned. So the animals are safe. His job is safe. We are all set.
Oh, and all's well that ends well.
And
I
maybe,
love that.
I don't know, he accepts the lesbian penguins. This is
He
not
actually
the main
marries
plot.
them.
He actually is the officiant at their wedding. Maybe they make a fake wedding for the penguins. And let me tell you, the first dance at that wedding is incredible.
Oh my god.
But maybe the other zookeepers are like, well, you should be the officiant since you're the man with all the penguins. And he's like, that's right, I'm the man with all the penguins.
All of them.
And what's his name? Mr. Popper, from the book Mr. Popper's Penguins. I haven't read that book in years. I don't actually remember what happened. Is that a movie with Ben Stiller? Who's in Mr. No, it's Jim Carrey. Who's in Mr.
This is
Popper's
all new
Penguins?
to me.
Jim Carrey, 2011. It's about a man with a lot of penguins in his apartment.
Well,
Yep,
Well,
that's what it
yes.
is. He's a real estate developer, and his father dies and gives him 6 penguins.
what the fuck?
Starring Jim Carrey. And he bonds with the penguin. And as he bonds, the bird's antics soon win over Mr. Popper. And as he bonds with the penguins, his chilly relationship with his ex-wife and kids begins to thaw.
What? It's the magic of penguins.
2011, baby. Angela Lansbury's in it. My God.
What? Maybe that's the nighttime television. The penguins get TV hour once in a while. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the plan goes forward, and honestly, that lemur kept a little secret. It kept a little vial of lip gloss. And so you might be seeing that lemur with the shiny lips and the dancing hips.
I like that it knows how to apply it. I just picture a lemur holding the applicator between its two little hands.
Just doing it. It's so cute. This lemur is like super intelligent, and monkeys are like kind of smart, you know?
Yeah.
They be doing that stuff. And lemurs, they're tiny. They have little pea brains, but sure. A little lip gloss whimsy. Maybe it just likes the feel. Maybe it's a lip plumper. And so this lemur has got lips. And it's just really cute.
That looks so scary in my head.
It sounds spooky. Just imagine it's still a cute lemur.
Yeah.
Cute lemur. And if the lip gloss is spooky, you can just imagine maybe it just got a little sparkly wristlet.
It got a tampon.
It got it. What do you got a tampon? It's supposed little prized possession. And it just walks around with it all the time.
It snuggles with the tampon as it sleeps.
Oh, I mean, John Denver.
John Denver and his tampon.
John Denver and his tampon. That's the headline. That's the headline.
John Denver and his tampon, sharing together through differences.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's his business book, John Denver and the tampon, finding new purposes for something unused. What? It makes no sense. Don't worry about it.
Business is a bloody business.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I love this dance-themed zoo we've got going on by accident.
Yeah. A zoo that, as far as we know, has some meerkats. B-plot real quick.
Yeah.
The meerkats did decide at one point to climb up each other.
Yes.
They scurried out, and while everyone was in the other places, they ran around and they said hi to all they actually stole all the food from the concession stands, went back into their exhibit, hit them underground. So not
and
only...
then they did a flash mob to the music from Hairspray. I'm sorry. Continue with your real thing. Sorry. Continue with what you were actually saying.
Once I was a selfish fool who never understood. Never looked outside my cage. So not only that, the next day that they see this giant menu has been destroyed, also all the concessions are gone. And the meerkats get a little plump. They're a little dummy thick for a little bit. It's real cute. But they're going to be healthy in the end. Again,
they'll be fine. Don't worry.
They'll be fine. It was mostly ice pops. It's fine. Everyone's happy. The Clatfartburg Zoo, I would say overall, has weird PR. They have nothing super negative, but it is always weird. So it's a weird place.
Well, considering they're hosting the tap dancing competition, I would think it's odd.
Yes. The lemurs got second place. The dingoes beat them.
Okay, I was really confused for a second. I was like, what do you mean the animals
Sorry,
are
the
competing?
seventh grade
I forgot our own bit.
My
yes,
apologies.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate
they
it.
did, and they did try to tell the teacher there was a real lemur up there, and she goes, "Yes, I told you are real lemurs. That's what you were supposed to be doing. You did it." She bought them a steak dinner. The kids were like, "We're seventh graders. We don't give a shit about steak. The fuck do we do with this?"
Splitting this steak dinner 18 ways.
Yeah.
I got Wagyu beef and I'm splitting it between 18.
She's like, I am a dance teacher. I'm not made of money. Split.
Split
Here,
the Wagyu.
You know what? I'll order the bloomin' onion here as well. Okay, let's do it. So, that's our zoo. Uncomfortable, scary, and a little anxiety inducing.
Yeah, and look, we can come to the aquarium later. Because I know there is one.
There is one, yes. I do believe that they would like to celebrate fish. Not be like... Because I think fish in a tank and fish in the ocean, they'd be okay with,
Yeah.
what have you. So that we can return to that another time, as you said. There will be mermaids.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you so much for visiting this lovely town and this zoo. And
I don't know why I said thank you like you were saying it to me.
I don't know. I mean...
I just wanted to emphasize it, but then it sounded like you said it to me. And
sometimes, guys, it's like we're talking to you, but then we look at each other in the camera and realize, hey, maybe I'm just talking to my friend. And that's all this podcast
Sharing
is.
through differences.
Two friends sharing their little delusional imagination lands.
Yeah.
And then bonding through it. And that's what I wanted for my birthday.
Yeah. You definitely wanted dancing salsa John Denver lemur holding a tampon.
Yeah, and nobody died today, so that's good.
That's great.
And we love that.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. If you enjoyed Becky and Harper specifically, there's 2 hours of us in character as them doing podcasts. They're really horrible people, but some of our best work.
Yes.
So that's on our Buy Me a Coffee if you're at all interested in that. You can join for a few months or dip in, dip out. You can also buy stuff a la carte if you're interested. We also should be out by now. Did a commentary track of Annie, the 80s Annie, which was quite spectacular. So had a great time with that. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that, you can check that out. And if you have any suggestions, we might get to them eventually. It might take us a while, but we will remember them. You can email us at clatfartburg@gmail.com or Instagram DM us on @Clatfartburg. With that all being said, make sure to tap your toes all the way around the zoo and back out and get a good night's sleep afterwards. It's a really bad outro, but it's what I got.
This is the rhythm of the zoo. The rhythm of the zoo.
Bye.
Bye.